that's what we're going to look at today. All right, so it says Leah and Maya are taking a card making class. The teacher has 4 packs of blank cards and an additional 8 cards. Leah buys 4 packs of cards that each come with 3 additional free cards in the pack, and Maya buys 4 packs of cards that each come with an additional 2 cards. So it says how many cards would need to be in each pack of cards so that the teacher had the same number of cards as Leah and Maya. All right, so the teacher is 4x plus 8. Leah is 4 times x plus 3. She had 4 packs that included 3 additional cards. And then here the teacher is 4x plus 8. Maya had 4 packs and that had 2 additional cards. All right, so what we are going to do is we're going to solve them just like we've always done. So we're going to distribute, but I'm going to rewrite them down here. And then 4 times x plus 2 equals 4x plus 8. All right, so distribute. So 4 times 4x is 4x. And 4 times 3 equals 4x plus 8. All right, so when I multiply that out, I get 4x plus 12 equals 4x plus 8. All right, so hopefully you notice that I'm going to have to combine my x's. So I'm going to have to bring it over here. But what happens is when I subtract my 4x from both sides, it cancels here and it cancels there. So it leaves me with 12 equals 8. And we know that that is a false statement because 12 does not equal 8. Okay? So what that kind of means is Leah and the teacher will never have the same amount of cards. Okay, so let's look at Maya and the teacher. So 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 2 equals 4x plus 8. So I end up with 4x plus 8 equals 4x plus 8. So hopefully you notice that 4x plus 8 equals 4x plus 8. So that's going to give me a true statement. So although I can subtract my 4x's, and just like on the other one, they cancel, I end up with 8 equals 8, which is the true statement. Okay? So what that means is Maya and the teacher will have the same amount of cards at any number. Okay, so what that means is if I say x is 1 and I substitute it back in, I would get 4 times 1 plus 8 on this side and I get 4 times 1 plus 8 on the other side. So I would end up with 12 equals 12. If I say x is 2, I would get 4 times 2 plus 8 and 4 times 2 plus 8. So I would get 16 equals 16. So that's what that means, is I can substitute in any number for x, and the teacher in Maya will always have the same amount of cards. So we call this infinitely many. And then this one up here is called no solution. So infinitely many and no solution. So that's what we call those. All right, so the Turn and Talk says, what do you think it means when an equation simplifies to an equation that is not true? Well, if it's not true, it cannot be solved. Right? Because I end up with numbers that don't equal, so it cannot be solved. Any questions so far? No? All right, so let's move on to the build understanding. All right, so it says, you know that to solve an equation means to find the values for the variable that make a true statement. Sometimes an equation may have no solution or may not have a unique solution. Just like a detective, you can gather clues to help you discover what will happen in each equation. Then you can gather clues in a table. So we know that if x equals a particular number, we have one solution. So there's one value that makes it true. So now we're going to look at a no solution again. So we're going to solve this equation. So the first thing I need to do is distribute. So 2 times x plus 8 is 2/8x. Or I can make it what? 1/4 x. So either one. Plus 2 times 3 is 6 equals 7 plus 1/4 x. All right, so I'm going to use this equation here because it's already have my common denominators. So this is what they're talking about. Before you do anything, look at what you have. I have a positive 1/4 x here, and I have a positive 1/4 x here. So what that means is these two 1/4s are going to disappear. Because if I subtract them, they cancel on both sides, giving me 6 equals 7. So if you notice that they're going to cancel, you don't have to do this step. I'm doing it so that you guys can see that they cancel out. So then once again, 6 equals 7 is a false statement. And sometimes you'll see it written like this. 6 does not equal 7. Okay, so then what do you notice? It's a false statement. So it says substitute in several different values for x into the original equation, simplify, and explain what happens. So if I use this equation, and let's say I say x is 4, I would have 4 over 4x plus 6 equals 7 plus 4 over 4x. So I would get 7 equals 8, and we know that that is false. All right, so that meaning is no values substituted make the equation true. So no matter what we substitute in, it's not going to be true. So the number of solutions is 0. All right, so the turn and talk says write an equation with a variable x so that the equation is never true. Use addition on both sides. Okay? Make it easy, guys. X plus 10 equals x plus 11. Just something that we know that's not going to equal. If you want to do x plus 1 equals x plus 2, do that. Any questions so far?
Are we doing it on your own today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. All right. So moving on. So now we're going to look at another infinitely many. All right. So I'm going to distribute. So x plus 8 equals 2 times 0.5, which is 1, and 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, so I can erase that 1, and what do you notice? They are the same equation. So I don't even have to subtract my x's. I can look at that and know that it's going to be 8 equals 8. So when that happens, it is infinitely many. Still no Lauren, right? Yeah, don't see Lauren. I do see Zariah. Let me see who posted something in the chat. Alright, so substitute several different values in for x into the original equation. So let's say x, I don't know, x is 2. So we would have 2 plus 8 equals 2 times 0.5 times 2 plus 4. So I should get 10 equals, this would become 1, 4 plus 1 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10. So 10 plus 10. Sorry, guys, if you put something important in the chat, my chat's just spinning.
It wasn't important. I just said my internet's back.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so what is the meaning of infinitely many? So it means any value of x makes the equation true. So we call that infinitely many. All right. If you want to rewrite it all so it's in one table, you are more than welcome to do that. If you don't, then do not worry about it. They're just trying to give you one location to find it.
Will we have tests on this?
No. I already said I'm done testing you guys for the year. So we'll do the work, but I'm not going to assess you.
Yes.
We'll do the review, but I'm not going to give a test on it. Now you will once you go to algebra, but not for me. Why, you want me to give you a test?
No. I didn't do anything.
Nah, you out here making this about give us test.
Wow. I can't believe you're blaming me for this.
You brought it up. I didn't bring it up. My internet wasn't even on like 20 minutes ago. I couldn't have brought it up.
And whose fault is that?
Not mine. They were working on it outside.
It's clearly yours.
How? How?
It's your Wi-Fi.
It's not mine though. I didn't pay it.
All right, turn and talk.
Who's using it?
Not me. Not me.
I'll solve that. I'll just mute them all. All right, here we go. So what do you notice about equations that have no solutions and equations that have infinitely many solutions? How are they alike and how are they different? Okay, so what do we know about the statements? So statements for no solution are what? Are always false. And statements for infinitely many
Are always true.
Yep. Always true. Yep. All right, any questions? We good? Can I move on? Okay, I don't hear any no's. All right. So it says, use the simplified version of an equation to show how many solutions the equation has. So Jose draws a quadrilateral triangle with the side length x. So this is Jose. Marian draws an equilateral triangle with the side length 2 inches longer. Marian writes an equation to show that her triangle has a perimeter that is 6 inches greater than Jose's triangle. Solve the equation. All right, so it's equilateral, so that means all 3 sides are the same. So that's why it's 3 times x plus 2, because all of these would be the same. It's 6 inches greater, so if this one's greater than that, we're going to subtract it. And then this is 3x to represent x, x, and x. All right, so we're going to distribute. So 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 2 is?
6.
Yep. All right, so what do you notice happens?
X cancels out.
Yep, so these cancel out, and it leaves me with 3x equals 3x. So if I subtract it from both sides, I basically get 0 and 0.
But we don't divide.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, basically, you would try to combine your like terms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you would do 3x minus 3x, and then they both cancel, leaving me with 0, 0. So the question says, how many solutions does the equation have? Well, it's 3x equals 3x, or 0 equals 0. Is that a true statement?
Yes.
Yes. So if it's a true statement, it is
Infinite.
Yep.
Whatever.
Infinitely many. So infinitely many. So since the equation is always true, does it make sense that x could be a negative number? So in this problem, even though we said infinitely many means we can substitute anything in this particular equation, we can't substitute in negatives because it wouldn't make sense for this to be negative 1 inches, right? So since the equation is always true, does it make sense that x? So we'll put no triangles cannot have a negative length. Okay, so just because it's infinitely many, sometimes we have to relate it to the type of problem that we're looking at. All right, so what are we going to do on this one? So we can look at it, right? 5.5x, 5.5x. So they're going to disappear. So we should know instantly that it's going to be false, right? No solution. So I can tell you that this is negative 2.1 and this is 3. Even before subtracting 5.5. So how many solutions? It is no solution.
This is surprisingly easy.
Uh-huh.
It's like we're back in the first grade.
All right, so check on.
First grade.
All right, check understanding. So work on those two real quick, and then we'll check it. And then those of you that want to start that on your own are more than welcome to start it. Those of you that want to leave it for tomorrow, then you can leave it for tomorrow. But take about 5 minutes to answer these real quick. It probably won't even take you that long. All right, so number one's pretty easy. So is it one solution, no solution, infinitely many? No solution, yep. All right, what about number two? If I distribute, this is what I get. 9x plus 45 equals 20 plus 9x plus 25. Okay, well, if I add this...
Wouldn't it be infinite?
Yeah. Because if I add 20 and 25, I get 45. So I get 9x plus 45, 9x plus 45, so that is infinitely many. Infinitely many. All right, so you have choices.